What's up people, it's Ross Vader back once again, and today I'm going to be making some jungle pads using Baby Audio's BA-1. BA-1 is a modern take on the old Yamaha CS01, and it's a very 80s sounding kind of lo-fi synth, so it should be perfect for taking some sounds and turning them into wicked jungle pads. I'll walk you through every step, from picking the sounds, to resampling them, to putting them back into the Amigo to get that gritty jungle texture. Whether you're into producing classic jungle, hardcore, or something in between, these tips and tricks will get you making your own jungle pads in no time. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, what patches am I using in the BA-1? Well, I got some targeted advertising on Facebook as usual, and it had this 90s legacy pack. So within that, it had 150 presets called Isotonic by The Unfinished, had some presets by Pizza Hotline, Summer of Love, 68 presets by Miyagi, and some real UK garage sounding things by Arc Noise. Haven't found kind of heaps of presets that I love within the packs, so just be aware whenever you listen to those previews, that's the best of the best parts and very well produced to make you buy it. Just be cautious when you're going out there stocking up lots and lots of presets. This is the Baby Audio BA-1. That's what it looks like. It's got a couple of cool features, so let's talk to those. Number one, you've got two oscillators here and a little FM dial, your classic filter and envelope, nothing really out of the ordinary there. And you've got this battery on. So the more I turn that up and down, it's going to affect whatever patch I have in, and it's going to warp it, make it go in and out of key. Really good for lo-fi stuff. So let's see how that sounds as I pull down the battery level. Very cool. Then we want to put a couple of things on it. So I've used my classic Valhalla Massive, and I've made that 100% of the mix. Use this C-Beams preset, which is in the reverb section. It's just a quick way to get to how much delay I want and how much warp I want. The other thing I'm using from Sound Toys is this crystallizer here. So it's another little bit of a delay kind of plug-in, uses some cool kind of granular stuff. So the other thing I've done here is I've played out what is a C minor seventh. So C, D sharp, G, A sharp, and I've written in my own ascending arp there. And as that kind of plays through and the Valhalla does its work, you're going to get one real thick, long sound instead of a bunch of different keys. So let's see what that sounds like. First without the inserts, and then I'll put them on. So you want to set that up going to a group channel, and I've got this one here called Tests, and then I've created another audio channel, and that will record anything that's coming through on that test channel. So we've dragged that into the Amigo, the resampled section, and then we can start kind of playing it up and down like we would do with anything else through MIDI. And we can just drag that sample rate up and down to get the desired jungle flavor. So let's see what that sounds like with some breakbeats. And I've layered that with a bass sign, another sign pad, and a couple little vocal and trumpet samples to make it sound real jungly. Very cool. Let's have a look at another one. So this one's called Springer. That's what it sounds like by itself, all together with the inserts. Resampled that and put a res beneath it and some vocals, and here we go. And I've also used it to make some kind of stab sounds. So same thing, had a big long pad there. I'll just take a little section out of the end of it just to get some cool stab sounding business. Let's hear it by itself first. And you can see I've overlapped some of the MIDI notes, and I've turned up the classic glide to 695 to get that nice pitch bending effect. And I've paired that with one of the bass presets out of the BA-2. So this one's called Green Jacket. Cool sounding bass. Here's another example. That one I've dragged right down to a sample rate of 9,800. So let's put it together. Some beats. This is to listen to, so ask not a question. Not to be taken as a simple suggestion, but a warning, 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 warning. This is to listen to, so ask not a question. Not to be taken as a simple suggestion, but a warning, 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 warning. All right, let's dive into some of the other presets that the BA-1 has to offer, and here are a few that sounded interesting to me, and I've put them together with some beats. Up first, I liked this big beefy synth sound. And one of their pads, it's called Pizza's Favorite. And I've put that with a key and turned the ARP on. And you can kind of play with the speed up and down. I just wish you could automate that. But what I did, I resampled it and moved that speed up and down to get some resampled alternating tempo ARPs. So this is that Green Jacket bass sound, and I put it together with this C64 circuit bent bass. Give us something that sounds like this. And what I've done there is kind of automated the oscillator shapes. So if we just look back through the last section, you'll see the automation changing what oscillator shapes we had. They've got some pretty nice kind of keys in there as well. So this is a nice looking black version. This key is called saw points. And I just kind of typed out a bunch of major and minor sevenths. Here's where I took some of that alternating up and resampled it and then pitched it up and down. So you'll see I transpose it up 3, up 6, and then back to 0. And of course reverse the one at the end there. Here's another example of automating a bunch of different things: delay amount, reverb amount, brightness and darkness, and how much it's synced as well. And finally, I grabbed another one of their leads there, and instead of turning this one into a pad, we just played with it by itself. So you can kind of do this with any synth that you have. And here's another example not using the BA-1. So I've got this one called Synplant. It's a very interesting synth, a lot of weird kind of twisted sounds come out of it. I'll turn off all the inserts right now and you can hear this pluck. And I've put a couple of things on it. Obviously Valhalla Massive, and dialed up to 100. I've used Isotope's vinyl and I've set that back to 1950 just to give it some more flavor, a little bit more dust, a little bit more warp. And I've put the Quadra fuzz on it as well. So here's how it sounds all together. Dragged that one into the Amigo and started it a little bit later. Dragged that one into the Amigo and started it at this point here. And we can play that at C3. But it really gets good when you play it down an octave. Here's another example not playing out a major or minor arp. So I've just played a C, kind of repeating it. Same thing, put the same amount of effects, Valhalla and Crystallizer, and then we come up with the sound like this. So when it's resampled and put back into the Amigo here, I've made some modifications. So one, I've turned poly mode on, meaning when I play it out in a chord, it will play out each of the keys of those chords. So then I played a C major 7th, I recorded that and enabled it. So when you replay it, it'll look like this. Turn the gate on and the loop and ping pong loop and a hold, and you get this nice alternation of notes as I play it up and down. Put a little bit of extra vinyl hiss on that, and we get something like this.
Baselines affect me when my rhymes direct me. Forgive the crowds, oh Lord, they know not why they sweat me. Biting's against the law in the place that I live, so I look up the door with the keys to my crib,
So there you have it, a bunch of jungle pads created from scratch by taking Plucks, putting them into arps or single notes, drowning them in delay and reverb, and then resampling, throwing them back in the Amigo and playing them out. So give it a try. You don't have to have the BA-1. You can use any VST synth that you have and get creating jungle pads. Until next time, peace.